Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Networking the No Rules Way with author Christy Smallwood. I'm your host, Sabrina Watson, with networklivevirtually.com. Today, we're going to talk about shameless self-promotion. And Christy has been so kind as to share her book with us on Google Docs so that you have the ability to read it and ask her some questions if you would like, or we can read along. We just kind of are winging this most days. And it's kind of all about whatever we want to do. So please remember to tell a little bird. You guys tweet out that we're here. Let's get some folks in here to promote themselves and that we can meet. And we're going to talk about shameless self-promotion. Christy, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm not at Disney this time.
I know you just got back from Disney, and I got to drive over there and have lunch with you at Disney World. It was so much fun.
It was. And so shameless self-promotion, that'll be the topic. On the front of my book, I have this picture right here. And underneath that is a name called Dweeb. And I try to tell people, don't be such a dweeb whenever you're networking. And the shameless self-promotion aspect is whenever there's a difference between, hey, I just kind of want to tell everybody about this thing, and you say it and you drop it. That's a little bit of shameless self-promotion. The dweeb aspect comes in. There's that fine line of you're going from promotion to now you've overdone it. So this is the dweeb aspect of over marketing. Like you are the only thing you are going to talk about, and you have no social etiquette enough to talk about the other person to engage in a real human conversation. And so it no longer becomes shameless self-promotion. You are now a dweeb.
All right. Well, Michael Mann, welcome. Say hello to Christy Smallwood. Introduce yourself. And
hey, Michael.
What do you think of what she's got to say?
Hi, Christy. First of all, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Just making sure I have my mic close enough where I can actually be heard. And I've learned, Sabrina, that we don't have to have these right on top of us.
We don't?
No, they're like you can have it off to the side and it'll pick up just fine.
Oh, okay. So how's my sound? Is it good, or do I got to go like this?
Oh no, it's pretty good even back there. As long as you're on the other side of the room, it's okay.
Perfect.
So what was I supposed to talk about again? Oh yeah,
we were talking about shameless. We were talking about shameless self-promotion. Have you been up all night?
I've been up for about 12 hours now. So pretty much all night. You know me and Blab. I get addicted to this.
Yeah, thing. I know you're hooked.
But yeah, shameless self-promotion. I mean, what do I even start with that?
Do you do it? Let's ask you, do you do it?
Oh no. I will mention what I do very briefly, and then I'll turn the focus back to them. You know, how can I help you? What is it that you need help with? You know, I always try to make sure I focus it back on them, because at the end of the day, it's not about me, it's about them. You know, and just give a little bit of quick backstory here. I'm a web designer, been doing it for about 17 years now. And I always tell my prospective clients, I say, okay, now I'm going to turn it back to you. But then at the end of the day, the website should reflect what your client wants, not what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And Absolutely. So I kind of try to teach them the art of not shamelessly promoting themselves. And it's not just all about them. It's about their client. Because the client's the one that's visiting the website. It's not them. The client's the one using the services, not them.
Yep. Let's talk about your approach, Michael Mann. One of the things that you just said was, I want to see what they need. How about that, Christy? Is that an approach? Is that, what do you need rather than finding out more about somebody?
Right, because you know, you can go in and you could talk about yourself all day, but you don't know if the person you're talking to actually needs what you have to offer. And so the only way to find that out is to find out more about them. And so to do that, you ask questions about that person, what they're doing with their business, with their family, their involvement in volunteer work, things like that, so that you can find out if what you have to offer is a fit for them or not. The onus is on you to be able to do that, not to push it and let them make that decision. You can help figure out if you're a fit or not. And the nice thing about being a resource in networking, so that you can shamelessly promote somebody else just as much as yourself. Well, not just as much. actually do it more than. So that leads you to be able to become a resource in your network of people that if they're trying to find somebody, you know the other person that's a good fit for them. So they may not even be looking for your service right now. So Michael, somebody may not even be looking to build a website yet, but you know somebody they need for a mechanic to help fix the car because that's top of mind for them. And then they're aware that you do the website. So they're going to come back when they're ready to talk about that for the website making. But you're still within that network there. You're still somebody they want to talk to just in general. And that leads to all kinds of opportunities.
Yesterday, for example, Christy, I did I'm a certified SCORE mentor, and I did a 2-hour workshop on websites for SCORE. And I had people that I have built websites for that actually came and brought people with them that they wanted to meet me. So
cool.
By focusing on others, I think that's how it comes back to you. Would you agree?
Absolutely. It's like the karma, universal karma effect. What you put out, you get back. And it may not happen the way that you think, but it is coming back to you. That energy, the positive energy you're putting out, energy creates more energy, and you're going to get that back.
So let's ask you, Michael Mann. I know that you're virtual. How do you network? How do you network with people? How do you find new clients?
I connect with clients through Periscope and Blab, and I also have connected with prospective clients through Facebook. I also do face-to-face networking. I go to various events. Like I just went to WordCamp Los Angeles a few weekends ago, and I networked with some people who are, kind of in the same space as me with web design and graphic design and back-end stuff. I've actually had clients. I've actually gotten clients from those events that were also in the same space, but they may not be in the same necessary exact fit that I'm in. So in other words, they might design the front end of websites, but they don't really understand the back end of WordPress. So I can be their go-to person for that.
I just got off of a virtual networking meeting just a matter of minutes ago with author Ron Sukenik. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He's one of the foremost authorities also in networking. And he said that networking local and live and in person is dead. What do you think? Is it dead, Christy?
No. Well, let me take that back. I think it depends on the market that you're in. I know in the Louisville market, we're inundated with opportunities to be able to get together face to face, but that's just the feel of where we live. If I go to another market, say like Chicago, they may not be doing that. So I really think it depends on the geographical location in which you're in as to whether it's dead or not. I personally think it's still the most powerful thing is face to face, because you're getting a full range of communication, not just words on a screen or even just by the phone. I mean, you're getting the full range. Blab is awesome because it helps take the barrier down of me needing to show up at an event specifically.
But we're face to face. We're still face to
face here. And that's one of the nice things. Now, to go to an event in Louisville, yeah, those things are still very hot. They look a little different in that there's a lot more things that are popping up that are called networking events, but it's attached with an interest. So it's not necessarily business directed, but it's a social activity. Like Whiskey Chicks is still one of my favorite things to talk about because it's a bunch of women and some guys, and they will showcase a local distillery. We taste test, and so we're basically drinking alcohol and get together. That's pretty much what that is. But it's still networking, and it's face to face. So I think it depends on your geographical area.
All right, you guys, we are networking the No Rules Way with author Christy Smallwood. Welcome to those people just joining us. Hi, Preston. Hi, Amy. Would you guys please take a moment to tell Little Bird, tweet out that you are here and that we're here. Also, Christy, would you put your link to your book in there again? We want to make sure that if you would like to read Christy Smallwood's book and hang out with us, you are able to do that. We do have an open seat. So feel free to join us in the hot seat, you guys, and tell us who you are. Hi, Krista. We've got an open seat. Okay. And so we're talking about, right now we're talking about today, shameless self-promotion.
And the way that I typically will handle this shameless self-promotion is I do specific things. It's not about me specifically, but if there is an event going on, I shamelessly promote an event anytime. So whether it be a business conference I've put together or an organization fundraiser coming up, if I'm at a networking event, I'll say shameless promotion, guys. Here's what's going on, and they're pretty good with that. Everybody receives that fairly well. So like right now, my moment of shameless promotion is I'm up as a finalist for Professional of the Year award, and people can vote for that. I have to be able to shamelessly self-promote for my extra 10% of my score to get to walk on stage as Professional of the Year. So I have to be able to shamelessly promote that to some degree so people will go vote for me. Now,
so there's times when shameless self-promotion is just okay.
it is okay. I would never overdo it. Figure out those things that are acceptable. Like you're going to just think of yourself as a performer on stage that's launching a new song.
Mm-hmm.
Test the audience. If they're not receiving that piece of information well, don't do it anymore. I mean, start to learn to read your people and their reactions. That way you'll know the acceptable pieces of information that's okay to shamelessly promote.
And I'm going to shamelessly promote in the chat box, you guys. That's how you can connect with me. Christy, is there someplace you'd like to shamelessly promote and let people know how they can connect with you?
Oh, yeah, that would be a great idea. I'll put that
There we go. How about you, Michael, man? We're going to give you a moment to shamelessly promote. Go ahead and put your link out there. And then we're going to welcome Preston. Hey, Preston.
Hey,
say hi to Author Christy Smallwood. And we're talking about shameless self-promotion. What do you got to say about that?
Well, I love to shamelessly promote. I'm working on a lot of different things and trying to make things a little bit easier, especially when it comes to Blab. I work with a lot of hotels and resorts and travel destinations. So, Christy, when you're in Disney World, I'm envious of you. I've been there once. I was in Epcot, and I totally enjoyed it. And I would love to be able to get our live streaming cameras out there. So if you have good connections, I'd be glad to talk to you about it, because I know they have a live stream going on now through YouTube, and it's being launched, I guess, in November. But hopefully we can get something out there before they launch their new initiative.
I was actually very pleased that my phone, and I finally got Blab to work through my Android phone, and I did the Blab thing there from the studios. It was, I have to admit, pretty amazing.
Yeah, Blab makes it a lot more fun to network, that's for sure. So, but it's nice meeting you. And so my shameless plug is you can go to skylinewebcams.com. I don't know if you can read it in that small box, especially if you have mobile. It's probably hard, so I will put it on the side. So that's my shameless plug. The only other thing I just really quick want to mention is I also was part of a startup. Well, we've been doing it for 4 years, and we have a new way of actually helping small business owners or business owners that want to create more traffic to their websites. We created a SEO booster bar. So if you have good SEO and you want to have a boost, we can help you with that. So something new that just came out yesterday that we launched. So thank you for your time. Thank you for allowing me, Sabrina, to do my shameless plug.
So where else do you do your shameless self-promotion, Preston? Tell us, where are you hanging out? Where are you networking?
Well, I'm networking, of course, with you again and Charlene at your networking events. I missed yours yesterday, unfortunately. I don't know why. I had it in my calendar, but I got busy and I didn't get a notification of it. And that's really all I can do at this point. I live in Honduras. So the idea to network is very appealing to me. And Nick, the egg, is getting a little bit his FaceTime.
So what do you got to say there, Nick? Is that the best you got?
He's not saying anything.
Okay, we'll let Nick out. All right, you guys, that was very entertaining, Nick. Hey, we're glad you stopped by. We've got an open seat, you guys. I don't know where Michael Mann went, but we got an open seat. Come on in. We're talking with author Christy Smallwood, and our topic today is shameless self-promotion. Go ahead, Preston. Questions for Christy. Christy, thoughts, comments?
Well, I mean, one of the things in here about there's a difference between shameless self-promotion, like I said, figure out those things that are acceptable by your audience, and overdoing it like a dweeb. And so I talk about don't be a dweeb in the book a lot. And I basically I soften it up. I say don't overmarket. And the story that goes along with that is that we had a guy locally who was networking with us. He'd show up at these events, and his service he was very passionate about his service and the way that he would present it to people. He would never ask me anything I've got going on, but his service was something that apparently I needed, and that I would be stupid if I didn't use it. And he could triple my business by using just his service, and that his service was the only service that could do that for me, and that all smart leaders use this service, and that if I did not use his service, I would be an idiot. And those are just
okay.
right.
Wow. Good way to build a relationship.
Exactly. And so that's why I'm like, okay, stop now. And just trying to be nice about it, because I do coach people. I do executive coaching, and we do training on communication and sales and networking. And like, okay, have you thought of how is this approach working for you? And he's like, well, I don't get a whole lot of sales. I'm like, okay, so how can we do things differently? Because I was like, in my mind, I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. So he had offended enough people that other people were coming to me and my business partner saying, please help this person. And so we had yes. And you don't want that to happen. You don't want other people saying to a coach or trainer, go help this person. They need your help because they're really ticking me off. You don't want that to happen socially. So there's a level of it. This is why understanding what networking really is so important. You're building a relationship with me so that we can see how things fit. If your service fits or not, that's great. If it does not fit, why don't you stay in my network? Because at some point it might. And if it doesn't, I can at least refer to you if I like you. But I don't like you at this point if you're overdweebing it. So just settle down. And you know that moment when somebody jumps the shark, so to speak. You know when that moment is for you because you're feeling it. And so then how do you even handle the over promoter? Is in a whole nother aspect. So you're on the receiving end of somebody over promoting. How do you do it?
So I got a question, Christy.
Yeah.
We don't know each other. I did go to your one last week with, like I said, when I saw you on the mobile. Do you feel that I'm over promoting with what I'm doing now?
Not so far, no.
Okay, good.
But we also invited you to do that, Preston.
We did.
Know,
we opened the door for that.
But I guess my question is that, I used to have in the background actually all my views of, not all my views, but a lot of recorded views of some of my beautiful places like out in Venice and other places. And I used to have that playing on the inside of a blab, and then I had my window a little bit smaller. And it wasn't self-promotion. I didn't have my link on there. I didn't tell what I did, but I had a couple of people, some very well-known people here on Blab, that really told me it's very distracting because they're not seeing me. They're just seeing the scenery. But in my business, I have to be visual, because I can tell you until the cows come home about a webcam, and you might have a perception of a webcam. But until you actually go to the site and actually see the webcams themselves, it'll blow your mind because they're a lot different than what you're used to. So I trying to figure out the happy medium, especially on Blab, to not offend people, but still give them information. Now, I realize I can do my own show. I've been on Blab long enough. I've been to a lot of shows, a lot of Blabs. I am working with a protection assistant, and I actually invited him here, but he's not showing up yet, to do a show because he wants to make it very professional. He wants to cut it off at 30 minutes and then have questions and answers. But anyways, with all that said, I don't want to be offending to anybody. I really want to, be able to communicate in such a way that isn't offensive.
So are you asking, Christy, where do you draw that line? Is that your question?
Yeah, exactly. Because there has to be a happy medium, and every network is different,
Mm-hmm. And we're still feeling out the blab aspect of things, because it's not like, when you walk into an event where live people are, that you are going to promote yourself differently than you would online, than you would on Facebook, than you would on LinkedIn, than you would on Blab. So look at the platform and everything that it has to offer. And then always walk in to your platform, your event, with what is the objective? What is the objective that I'm trying to accomplish here? What's the whole purpose of this? And what is the goal that I'm going for today? So my goal whenever I come here, my objective is to be, somewhat entertaining and educational. I want you guys to get value out of hearing my opinions and my learnings and things that I have to offer. That's my objective for you guys. Now, Blab is going to be different. So there's still a little feel it out on things that you can do, that if you've gotten feedback that is distracting, what else can you do? I mean, with what you do with webcams and stuff, you could be green screening right behind you.
Right.
How can you incorporate something physically behind you right now that shows that stuff? That way we're still seeing you and that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I was looking at a smaller picture I can put on here too, but the green screen's a little bit more challenging just because where I live in Honduras, and you can't exactly get a green screen stuff here. And I know I can do, the green poster boards, and I can paint my wall and those type of things. So I'll have to look at. You have a sheet, yeah, or a green sheet, exactly. And,
so you don't think that's distracting, Christy?
Honestly, that's going to be depending on the person. That's an individual thing. For me, I don't have a problem with that, but I have a little bit of ADD, so I'm good with multisensory stuff. Yeah. Some people are not. So for example, Charlene, you've networked with Charlene before online. Don't give her more things than she, help her focus on. That's her personality. Let's focus on just you and your face. I don't want any other distractions. So I think because this platform offers such a wide variety of people, you have to keep it as simple as possible so that it meets the needs of everybody at the same time. Like right now, you have right under your name, you have real-time webcam.
Right.
And he's moving it around.
I'm trying to get it right because it doesn't work right. I'm testing too. I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, it's all right. It's all right. Hey, welcome everybody. I just want to remind you that we're networking the No Rules Way with Author Christy Smallwood. Please tweet a little bird. Let people know we're here. Welcome, Tony. Welcome, David. We have a hot seat. Good afternoon, all the way from the UK. Come on in. We do have a hot seat. Come on in. We're talking about shameless self-promotion today and other things like that. So, there we go. Hello, David. Let me just let you in right now.
You want me to pop off? I can have somebody else come in.
I think you're fine for right now. Hi, David.
Hi there. How are you doing,
David?
Welcome. So we're inviting you for a moment to shamelessly self-promote.
Right. Okay. Where do I start?
I don't know. Where do you start?
I've just started on my journey as a public speaker.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Now, from when I was 16, I'm 42 years old now. I'm old and haggard now. But when I was 16, I was homeless for 2 years. I set up a childcare centre whilst living in a drug dealer's squat in Salford, Manchester. I also gained my qualifications, my A-levels degree. And I was arrested during that time for arson and cleared after 3 months. So that was the start of my so-called spiritual journey and working on why am I here? What is the point in my life here now? Fast forward a few years, I decided to go and live in a tent, to live off the land for a year in the Lake District in the UK, beautiful area, which further connected me to myself and my true self. And then carry on, 4 years ago, I was diagnosed with a neuromuscular disorder, a muscle wasting disorder, and a severe lung defect. And during that time now, in the last year, I've actually come off all my tablets. I was on 36 tablets a day, plus 45 milligrams.
Wow.
Just through good nutrition and mindset. So there's various different parts of my story. I'm in the process of writing a book at the moment, which should be out in January.
Awesome.
Which will be an interactive life coaching book about my story and about my journey. and also interacting. How would people actually deal with the things that I've actually dealt with in the past, and what direction they would have gone in? So yeah.
Is that the journey that your speaking path you're planning on taking with David is about your health journey?
Yeah, the health journey is part and parcel of it. Things have progressed nicely. It's almost like this life was written for me. I had to go through the adversity, so then I had something to share and inspire and hopefully motivate people into action. My wife suffered for quite a few years with postnatal depression. And the way I've always been is look at negative experiences as a learning experience. So no matter how depressing, how bad it was, I saw that as an opportunity for me to grow and to actually understand and study depression, postnatal depression, women in general, which over the last couple of years now have helped my wife through mindset to actually come out of depression. And she's now built up quite a big business, which is fantastic, independent of myself. So it's empowered her to actually move on with her life and actually see the good in everything now. Whereas
Well,
for
awesome.
a good couple of years.
Congratulations. We're talking about networking day. How do you network? How you said she's built up a good business. How does she network?
Well, we're both actually now involved with network marketing, which has now enabled me to then pursue the speaking career, which is fantastic. I'm with a company based in the UK, and my wife is with Juice Plus, which is 26 different countries around the world. So we do everything from Periscope. Now Blab, I've started getting into Blab. Also networking events. I use the 3-foot rule. If anybody comes into my personal space, I want to be the friend. I want to find out more about them and understand what motivates and what drives them. Because I genuinely believe that network marketing, if it wasn't for network marketing, I don't know where my health would be at this moment in time, because it allowed me to focus on my health because I was getting that residual income. And so therefore, rather than worrying about, oh, I'm unemployed, I need to go and sign on and benefits or whatever, I could actually put all my effort into me and to work out how do I get better so I can provide a better life for my family. So networking now for me is just making friends for friends' sake. And if anything comes from that, fantastic. But it's a positive experience because A, I've made a friend, and B, hopefully by speaking to them, I would have motivated or inspired them to take some positive action. So it's a win-win for me. Networking is anybody and everybody.
Comments, Christy?
Spot on. That's definitely, we even tell, we've had some financial people who are looking for certain types of people, usually if they want to make bigger bucks as a financial advisor kind of thing. And they realize once we talk to them that their friends are the ones that are doing business with them. And so whenever they started, we're like, then why aren't you networking for friends? So build your friend aspect of things. And then eventually they're going to figure out, okay, you know what you're talking about with finances, because finances are a little, that's kind of a personal subject. So build the friendship first, and then you can enter into this other area. Same thing with pretty much anything we do, any industry. If you're building friendships first, people want to do business with their friends. They really do want to help. We have this great connection going on. So, David, I think you're spot on with that. Networking for friends is perfect.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Welcome, Martin. I see you've just joined. We're networking the No Rules Way with author Christy Smallwood. And you guys, please tweet a little bird. Let people know that we're here. All right. Thank you. And Martin, let's see. Thank you, David.
Thanks, guys.
If one of you would hop out of the hot seat so that we have an open hot seat open. Thank you, Preston. Appreciate that. Martin, if you would like to jump in, come on in. I see Martin does social media, networking, marketing professional, helping individuals and companies. Hang on, my mouse is not working here. Achieve greatness. Hi, Jim. Welcome, Jim. Hey, Martin. Welcome. Where are you located physically? What part of the world are you in? We cannot hear you. You have no sound. Test, test, test. No sound, Martin. Try, try plugging and unplugging. Hi, Jim Ziegler. Oh, I think I heard something there. Writer, magazine, columnist, professional speaker, and super performer. We've got a hot seat open. We're talking about networking the no rules way with author Christy Smallwood, and we're talking about shameless self-promotion. So we are inviting you to join us and discuss shameless self-promotion with us. Uh-oh.
Martin couldn't get the sound to work.
I think we just lost Martin. I shall let someone else jump in. Thanks for your time, guys. Looking forward to the rest of the blab. Thank you, David. It was nice talking to you also. Sunday Social. Martin's going to retry. So let's talk about one of the things that I'm curious to see is that there seems to be a trend here, Christy, with regard to online networking. What do you think?
I think that is definitely the case because it brings, I'm not limited to just my local chamber or my local women's group. I now have been meeting people from all over the world. So it gives us this great opportunity to meet face to face without having to hop on planes and boats and trains and everything else to be able to meet with each other. The cost, hello, you can't beat the cost of this. It's fantastic. So I see that this is going to be exploding at an exponential rate very like now. I mean, it is. There's more blabs all the time. There's more platforms opening up. It's amazing what's actually happening to bring everybody together across the world.
What about virtual networking? What do you think about that? Just like you know that I'm the founder of a site that's totally designed for virtual networking to come meet and greet and leave your contact information. And
I think it is absolutely amazing and fabulous. And I think those that are, especially if you have something that is going to, if your network, again, let's go back to objectives. If your objective is to network for business and network, to have those business relationships, find the platform, find that group of people that will create some synergy for you. Just like we're doing now. I'm an author speaker. I can jump into those places that my topics fit. Like we're talking networking now. So I will find those groups. So be strategic about it, not the shotgun effect because the internet's way too big for shotgun effect. Laser focus the efforts. So the virtual networking kind of works the same as finding a local hotspot to go meet. We got to be strategic about which one we're going into because there are tons out there. I think it's very lucrative business-wise. I know Charlene's building her business that way. I know you do some online work as well. I haven't launched a whole lot of online things yet, and you and I have talked about that.
Yes, we're working on that.
Yes, we're working on that. And I'm so super pumped about the potential and the opportunities that's going to come with that for me as a business. So I think that anybody that has a business, especially that can be grown virtually, some things cannot be grown virtually.
That's true. Some things cannot be grown virtually.
Plumbing.
And I agree with you that some things cannot be grown virtually, but even through virtual networking, it's possible for you to meet people in your very own area.
Yes.
I mean, that's one of the things that we're going to talk about here soon with networklivevirtually.com is growing area specific networkings as well. That doesn't mean
that would be awesome.
That doesn't mean somebody virtual can't join from another part of the world, but maybe the base of that group is a particular area, for example.
Because, my area, we talked about this with Charlene a couple of days ago. My area, we have snow sometimes. Sometimes it's ice, and whenever that happens, the city shuts down. But I still have a business to run. And so if I can get virtual networking in my local area to where, okay, we're all stuck at home, but let's virtually meet for the day. I think the more people that can get out of that comfort zone of not knowing, technical stuff, this is about as easy as it gets. I mean, a couple buttons and you're networking with each other face to face. So sometimes it's going to take a little bit of learning curve in certain areas. I know Louisville's a little behind the curve on some things, but I think that the more we can push virtual networking, the more efficient our business is going to grow.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the same thing applies in virtual networking. You got your people that fly by. I call them flybys. They drop their shit and keep going. How effective is that?
Not. Because it's exactly what it sounds like.
Well, I call it the pigeon effect, but kind of what pigeons do. They just fly by and go, and then keep going. And I'm not sure what they hope for by that, but that's what happens. Roy, we got an open hot seat. Come join us. We'd love to have you come join us. And there he is. Roy, you got to pour. Hey, so we're talking about shameless self-promotion today. What do you think about that?
Thumbs up, 2 thumbs up. Wait, can I put my toes up too?
Yes, you can put your toes up.
Hi, Sabrina. Good to see you again.
You too.
Nice to meet you. I'm going to be audio only because that's my brand and that's how I network. I network with my voice, Christy. So this is awesome. I've been listening in for just a few seconds, but I can already tell I enjoy what you're talking about. So I love networking. I call myself the speed relationship guy because I think that people don't realize that they can build relationships really, really quick using the internet or the internet.
Oh, wow. So true.
I've been around for a long time. I've been around almost 20 years, since 1996, and I've been wanting people to network way back when, and it was like trying to pull teeth trying to get people to network back in the mid 90s, especially the women, because I'd say, hey, you got to put up a little profile page and you got to tell people, who you are, what you do, and who you're looking for, who you're looking to meet and network with. And it's like, oh no, if I did that, my husband would throw my computer through the window. No, I can't do that. I can't put a picture up. But today, almost 20 years later, it's different. Everybody wants to be known, liked, and trusted. Isn't that the right way that we do this? And the pigeon effect, right, Sabrina?
Yeah,
I love that.
The pigeon effect.
Drive-by networking. I mean, yes, here, I'm going to throw this in your face. Call me. I got to cut you a deal. Shake hands, glad hands, backhands. I love what Bob Berg says about all of that. And that's
don't step to the right because you'll step in my shit I just left.
That's not networking. Networking is what we're doing here, building relationships. I remember Sabrina. I love what she's doing. You know what I'm saying? So, Christy, hi.
Hi.
Don't know much about you, but this must be your no rules way of networking. So quick synopsis. I'm sorry I wasn't here for the beginning of that. What do you mean by no rules?
So the backstory to the No Rules Way book is that I started a business called Arkham Executive with a business partner. His name is John Zidell, and he had started a networking event in Louisville, Kentucky called No Rules Networking. And it was totally anti-agenda, anti-format, anti-rules, because everything else that had started up networking-wise had very strict rules to things, a lot of expectations, a lot of work that had to be done to network with each other. And he's like, I want to take that out and just do like a happy hour with a purpose. Well, that was 15 years ago, every month, and he's been doing it that way ever since. And so when I came along, I kind of adopted the No Rules Networking, and so I wrote the book about networking based on how we do it with No Rules Networking. So that's kind of the backstory of No Rules, but it's kind of this anti-agenda, anti-work to it. It needs to have a little fun aspect. We're building relationships. Networking is not all about lead generation or referral-based stuff. Yes, that can happen if that is the objective of that platform or that group. But networking as a whole is not about just that. It shouldn't take that much work. It should be relationship building. Let's add to our network. Just like marketing, we're entering into the market. Networking, we're adding to our network of people. So, and it happens anywhere, all the time. It should just be a lifestyle. Where 2 or more gathered, you're networking, period.
I love that approach. I take the same approach. Love it. It's all about opening the relationship, right? It's cliche, but it's so true, rather than closing the sale. And
exactly.
I know exactly, and I forgive me for those of you who are this, but I have to say it the way I see it. Got to call it the way I see it. I think Sabrina does exactly the same thing. So I'm going to take a page from her and call it the way I see it. So, a lot of people invest or spend, I don't know, time in low-class marketing, or as I like to say, ghetto marketing. And I can see a ghetto marketer from a mile away, right? And they have been prolific in the text world. But I'm here to say, Christy and Sabrina, in the talk world, in this environment, rarely do we see these types of people the drive-bys. You know, I mean, rarely. You do see them, of course. They're there. They're trying to do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
But once this goes mainstream, where people now realize it's like, oh my goodness, I got to get off this texting stuff and go into the talking world, the voice world, the video world. There's going to be a lot less of this low-class type marketing. People are going to realize I need to open up a relationship. I need to build a friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And even if that person isn't going to be a client or a customer, they have a tribe, even if it's a tribe of one or two. And that person or persons could be your next biggest client or customer, or, you know, advocate, or somebody that comes alongside, like an alliance or a partner, or you just never know. And so when you're going for the jugular and going for that immediate single sale, I think you're shooting yourself in the foot. What do you guys think?
I absolutely agree with you, Roy, but that opens up another question right there. Let me ask you this, because now that we're talking about people that don't have the ability to do anything other than the pigeon effect, does that open up a whole new market for people like Christy Smallwood to teach these people how to? Now, this is just a thought, Christy.
Absolutely.
That's why they need me.
Does that open up a whole new market to teach people how to connect and be real?
If you realized in my bio, it says, you know, are you ready to connect with or meet your divine connections? And I use the word or term divine connection simply because as a man of faith, I believe that God has already got certain people lined up for you to meet, cross their path, and you them. It's both. And when this happens, there's this divine connection. There's this synergy. You know immediately you're meant for each other. It's like you were long lost friends just catching up. And those are the relationships, I believe, just my own personal opinion, that you should pursue, rather than the ones that you may say, oh, look, that person's so influential. Oh, I need to get on their radar. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to do that. And once I'm their friend, you know, the whole world will open up for me. Well, you know what? You may not resonate with them. You may have very little in common with them. Just because they're an influential person doesn't mean that, you know, you're going to hit it off as friends. And a term a friend of mine coined after I asked her, I said, you know, I don't want the mentor-mentee mentality, the coach-coachee mentality. I'm here to help you as a friend. I want to educate you as a friend. Do you have a MASH word for me? And she says, sure. How about frienducation or frienducator? And I said, I love that. So that's what we should have as our mindset. We should have, look, we're friends. We're trying to educate each other. And if business comes from it, great. And I tell you what, business will come from it if there's that synergy, that divine connection, because you're going to want to support your friend. I absolutely want to do that. We all want to do that. That's why, you know, I don't know who coined the term. People want to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. But the first time I heard it was in the mid-90s. Bob Berg said that in his Endless Referrals, you know, talking about referrals and all of that. So I believe that this virtual world that we call cyberspace, the internet, finally is ready for primetime networking, as we're doing, face-to-face, voice-to-voice. And it's such a different environment than the texting world that most people are used to. We're going to see less and less ghetto marketers and ghetto networkers here in this environment. And the last thing I'll say, and I'll let you ladies comment on it, is the analogy I make is when we used to have silent pictures, silent movie stars, and then we got the talkies. A lot of the silent picture stars couldn't make the transition to the talkies. So we got a whole new slew of actors and actresses. I don't know if you recall that, but they had such a tough time transitioning.
Well,
So
I wasn't around then, but
yeah, and I think neither was I, even though I am old. But so I think we're going to see the exact same thing happening here, that people who may have been a little bit I don't know, more savvy text-wise in networking may have a difficult time. What do you think about that, Christy? Before
you answer that question, I do want to say, Roy, there was somebody in the text chat here, I think it was Amy, who just asked how they could connect with you. So as part of our topic today, shameless self-promotion, if you would like to put something in the text box that
absolutely.
They can connect with you, please do so. Also, Christy, we have her book available if you would like to read it. Christy, if you would put that link in there as well.
Just did.
Thank you. And you can connect with me at networklivevirtually.com, where we have created a live virtual networking with audio and video platform. We actually have
book link. Hang on. I
we
screwed that
actually
up.
have 5 meetings a week here very soon, starting at the end of the month, and we will have 6 meetings a week shortly after that. So you can actually just join a networking group just like this and meet up to 25 people at a meeting. And Preston's a member of one of our groups as well. Okay, go ahead, Christy. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there.
No, I just realized I copied and pasted the wrong thing. That was my LinkedIn profile. But I got it fixed. It's all good. Sometimes I'm a little slow on the uptake. That's okay.
And Christy, 1 second, just so if it was Amy, I think you said Amy. So whoever wants to connect with me, listen, I don't do text. So if you want to connect with me initially to get my Skype or my phone, you can do so here on Blab, and then immediately go through Twitter and DM me. You don't even have to connect with me to DM me. I got an open DM. Go ahead and say, hey, Roy, I want to connect with you, because I don't do text. So Skype me or call me. Call me anytime, Skype me anytime. That's the way I got my lifestyle set up. So anyway, please, Christy, the transition for text to talk, you think people are going to have a hard time with it?
Yes. And those, I know this from experience just in my area here. And that's why we work with some of these people who don't know how to have conversations while they're networking at an event. They've either, and it's not just that they're shy, it's they don't know how to have conversation anymore because everything has been so right here, or email driven. Those that have been in the corporate world, if they've transitioned their positions from a cubicle to sales and marketing. Now you got to be out in front of people. You don't know how to have those conversations without emailing them. Well, we need to learn to talk to each other now. And so then there's a whole aspect of understanding the other person. How do you talk intentionally to this other person? How do you talk to a group of people at once so that everybody's receiving your message the way that you want them to? How do you remove some of those noise filters? And a lot of people don't know how to do some of those basic things in just having a simple conversation. Now, so aside from having simple conversations to keep a conversation engaging, add into, I have a place I want to go with this conversation. There's things that I want to be able to discover. What kind of needs do you have? And does what I have fit your needs or not? That's a whole nother level of having that conversation with somebody and being able to not manipulate, but be able to keep track of where things are in the conversation so you can see how to hit certain touch points along the way so that you're actually being productive for your own business. And that's a whole nother level of skill set that can be taught. We teach it all the time. And yeah, I'm finding that a lot of people are having a hard time transitioning from text to talk. And it doesn't matter the age anymore. It doesn't really matter if they're a millennial or they're a baby boomer. It doesn't matter, because we're talking to all kinds of people now across all generations, all roles, all backgrounds. All bets are off now. You have to learn how to communicate face to face.
I totally agree. Generation gaps, what's that? I have 14 and 15-year-olds that are, if I didn't know their age, I'd say they were, wise beyond their years. So there is no such thing anymore as that. I totally agree with you.
So you said you were old, Steve. 14 or Roy, 14 and 15-year-olds is not old.
Right. See, I'm 58 years young, and I feel 12, act 12, think 12. No, I don't look 12, but that's okay. And that gives me the opportunity to network and talk in voice. I gave myself a moniker. So if I may, really, really quick, this may help a lot of people with networking. You have to have a single purpose in networking.
Yes.
It shouldn't be to collect business cards. That's not what it should be.
Well, it could be to collect friendships, relationships, connections.
Well, yes, and I think it should be even deeper than that. So I like to say go an inch wide and a mile deep. So what do I mean by that? Well, first of all, I'm here to tell people and or teach people and or show people that relationships can be built very, very quickly. See, I will know within 15 minutes of meeting you whether or not I want to go on a cruise with you for 30 days, adjacent cabins, do all activities and meals with you. Okay, I know this. So if you don't know this, then there's a way to know this. And so one of the big things for me is to ask 2 questions of a person and just let them talk. because this will open up a person more than anything else that I have found. It's two simple questions. One, and Christy, I'll ask this of you so I can get to know you better. So I'll just do this in real time and in real life, and to actually make it mean something. So are you willing to go there with me?
Sure, why not?
Okay. I'll ask you two questions. You can answer in either order. Answer the second one first or the first one second, doesn't matter. But I would like to know, Christy, what makes you tick and what ticks you off?
Ooh, that's pretty cute. I like that. I'm gonna have to remember that. I'm gonna ask the pigeons.
Yes. So first of all, Christy, are you prepared for this question? Have you heard these questions before?
Yeah. And it's funny that you should ask me what ticks me off.
And people usually lead with that one. I don't know why, but they do.
Well, and I know why, because I know my pet peeves. Like the first one I could think of is people who don't use their turn signals. Like, communicate with me, people. I
love it.
That's one. The other thing that really ticks me off is if I am misunderstood a lot because of my facial expressions. I have what we affectionately have called the resting bitch face, and so people think I'm upset.
So wait, the what?
Have you not heard?
No, I don't travel in that circle. I'm sorry.
So apparently, if I'm not thinking, I'm kind of zoned out, then I may look upset or like this.
Okay.
I don't put effort into it.
Christy, this is a whole nother topic. You and I should absolutely get into it, because people have been telling me since I'm voice only, at least I have been for the last 2.5 years. People are telling me, Roy, I can't trust you. I can't get to know you because I can't see your facial expressions. And 90% is nonverbal communication. And I'm going, what? No, nobody ever asked me to they didn't survey me. I don't even believe that for a half a second. Anyway, just wanted to touch on that, but please continue with that.
So it's the don't assume with me.
Do not ever. Yes.
Do not.
What happens when you assume?
Correct. I learned that a long time ago. And the other thing I've learned recently is I don't like to be pushed while standing in line. Somebody at Disney pushed me.
What?
Turn around.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I have to touch in on this one. Your pet peeve right there, your what ticks you off ticks me off too. It's like there's a line of 5 people, there's a line of 50 people. It doesn't matter. As soon as I feel that person behind me, I will turn around, look them square in the eyes and say, I'm going to now ask you to take a step back or stay right where you're at, and I'm going to take a step forward, because I always leave at least 2 or 3 feet between me and the person up front. Do not get any closer. I do not like you breathing on my back, and if you touch me again, well, please just stay put, right? I can't stand right up on top of you. It's like you're not going to get there any quicker.
Right.
Roy, I don't want to interrupt you, but real quick, Christy, Steve says, Did we cover the no rules portion yet? Let's talk about what no rules networking is for a minute.
So no rules networking, just to come back to that. And so, and Roy, this will also touch on a little bit of what my passion is, what makes me tick. So the background to the No Rules Way book is that No Rules Networking was started 15 years ago by my business partner in Louisville, Kentucky. And it is totally an anti-agenda, anti-format kind of networking where it's pretty much just a happy hour with a purpose. We get together, we make connections, we start building relationships, friendships over a drink, we tell stories, we get to know each other, and that is the real crux of networking. You're adding people to your network, and then you just try to see where they all fit together. If there's synergy or not, that's great. There is no real business happening that night. There's no sales being made. There's no pushing to that. It's a very laid back environment where we all just get together and we start building friendships. And I kind of feel like Norm in the room. If
we got Steve. I've been trying to get Steve to come in, and here he is.
Hey, Steve. So that's the background to the No Rules Way and the No Rules Networking. And part of what makes me tick is being able to get people to light up, to get them out of their status quo of thinking either negatively or they can't do something. And so my part of having these conversations is I don't necessarily ask them what makes them tick, but I'll say, okay, what's your story? And they'll just start telling me everything. Sometimes I may not want to know everything, but they tell me everything because whenever somebody has an opportunity to tell their story, sometimes they don't know where to start. And I'll say, okay, well, let's start with your business. Or do you have any pets? Like if I don't want to hear about business at that moment, I'll pick a different topic to start them on. But I like to see people light up. My passion is helping other people find their value. They haven't defined what their value is.
Yes.
And so whenever I can see their eyes light up, I validate the thing that they just haven't realized they found yet. So I can bring that to light. So I'm kind of kicking people in the butt to get them out of their status quo, and they don't even realize it.
Yeah, I like to say the same thing. If I don't notice the fire in the belly when I ask those two questions, then I know either they don't know what they don't know, or no one has told them that fire that you have in the belly, or that little ember that is there now can grow. It needs to grow. You need to be passionate about being passionate. You need to be enthusiastic about being enthusiastic. And if you see somebody in front of you that's not enthusiastic, I know why. They're not acting enthusiastic. It's that simple.
And part of our shameless self-promotion, so Steve, we're going to give you a second here once I say this. Part of this shameless self-promotion, some people will take a passionate person and say they are just shamelessly self-promoting. Well, this overly passionate person is just being passionate because they're passionate. They're very excited. And so we have to be intentional about how we're presenting ourselves and our passion so that it doesn't cross over into dweeb land. That's
so true.
Yeah, we have to be intentional and pay attention.
Now I've been begging Steve to come on, so here you are, Steve. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Steve. Nice to meet you.
And now we're going to give you a chance to speak.
Well, no, I was very much valuing what you were saying there, Christy. Thank you. And I wanted to echo that. I first attempted networking in the traditional way, face-to-face, at these business network meetings in 2009. And I had all of the wrong attitudes. I went there to do business. And of course, I mean, that's what you'd like. But no, I totally agree with you. I think since I've been on Blab now a month, I think this is my month anniversary. And Blab has taught me that true networking is just, I think it's just seeing who you like, who you get on with.
Yeah,
you know?
agreed.
There's some synergy there, and then maybe in the future. But so I don't come on here with any expectations or preconceptions. And I'm just very, very grateful to be around so many excellent people. I mean, at this point in history, Blab there's two types of blabbers. There's the social blabbers, but the people that I'm mixing with are the entrepreneurial blabbers. And it's very refreshing to be around such positive people all the time.
Thank you. And we're glad you joined us. So Steve, okay, we're talking about shameless self-promotion. What do you do? What do you do? Tell us all about it. And how can we reach you? Put your link in the chat box.
Yeah. My link, my sizzle reel for my movie that I wrote in 2010, which I've been animating ever since, is on my profile. You just click on my name, click on the link, the only link there. And within seconds, you'll be watching the best of Steve Payne doing his sci-fi funk thing. So my aim is to take this as far as God will let me. I would love it to be a Hollywood movie. I recognize that's a small chance, but it doesn't stop me trying. And I'm animating it in the meantime, so the message will get out to some extent regardless. That is me in a nutshell. How did I do? 1 minute?
Perfect. Oh, Roy Montero says, if you go to networking events to sell, let me ask you this. Are you also going there to buy?
Mm-hmm.
I think that we all go there to buy, don't we? I don't know that we go there to buy, but I think that I know I personally end up finding something to buy. I'm a buyer more than a seller, frankly.
I think you're the exception to the rule, Sabrina. I think most people go there to sell, and no one wants to go there to buy. I don't think people go, I'm going to go to the networking event tonight, honey. I'm going to go buy 2 or 3 things from 3 amazing people that I'll meet there. No, I think they're all going there to sell. And if everybody's there to sell and no one's there to buy, I'm out.
You know, Roy, I'm one of those people who, I hate to say this, but I'm the biggest buyer there is. And I don't really have anything to sell, quite frankly. But I go anyway to make.
You are absolutely the odd duck out.
I
right?
am the odd duck out. I absolutely
I
am.
will agree with you on that one, Roy.
Because most people are not like you. So I definitely want to find people like you at a networking event then. Not that I want to sell to you, but you have the right attitude.
I genuinely don't really have anything to sell. So, I mean, what I'm selling these days is just connecting people with my virtual networking site. So I don't really have anything to sell because I'm not.
Well, see, that's exactly it though. So you sell yourself. So if you want people to buy your product or service, then you first have to have them buy you, right? And so if people don't buy you because you're a ghetto marketer, you're in their face, like buy this now. And if you're not going to, I'm going to look over your shoulder and see who's next on my list of people who should be buying, because I'm that guy. You know, Bob Burg says it so well. I can't remember exactly how he says it, but I'm not here to slap hands, blab hands, throw you a business card, cut you a deal, call me on Monday, call me on Tuesday. That's not networking. That is ghetto marketing. That is just absolutely being a pain in someone's butt. You know what I'm saying? So, I just wanted to say you're there to sell yourself, and you certainly won't sell yourself if you come off with that attitude. Your attitude should be, how may I serve you? How can I help you? Can we be friends? Do we have anything in common? So the main thing you should ask that person is, who are you looking to meet? And then find out if you are it. That's where I would take it to the lowest common denominator. Christy, do you have a thought on that?
I'm going to make a comment that we are the gateway to our product and service, because it does go back to the people want to do business with people they like. And yes, they want to be able to trust you, but they're not even going to think about it unless they like you. They may know what you do, but they're not going to give a crap if they don't like you. They're going to avoid you like the plague. I have a couple of people in my area I avoid like the plague because I just don't like them. And I use that service that they have with other people because I don't like this one. And that's discernment. And some other people love this person. Well, have at it. But we are the gateway for everybody else. We are our own billboards to our businesses. And, especially if we're business owners, we are the business. We're the personality. We are the culture. We are the why. We are the everything. We are the gateway. And so if people want our business, product or service, we want them to want us first. And so that's the entry point.
Yeah.
And that's why doing these kinds of things is so important, to be able to get that personality out there, to make these connections. How, do we share the same kind of energy level? Do we, think the same way, shared values, all of that kind of stuff.
Thank you, Christy. Okay, you guys, I'm going to have to interrupt because we're at 11:03. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording here. But first of all, I want to say thanks for joining us at Networking the No Rules Way with author Christy Smallwood. If you guys would like to give yourselves a shameless plug in the text box, please do so now. Here's how you can connect with me. And I am going to say thanks, and we will hang out for a minute, but I'm going to stop the recording.